Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you first. I've been that person. The one who screenshots every productivity system, every YouTube video that I find at 2 a.m. and convinces myself that this one will finally fix my brain. I tried time blocking, I tried color coding, I tried digital apps with notification every 15 minutes. Nothing worked. None of it worked. Not really. And I didn't know I had ADHD then. I just thought that I was the problem. But in truth, I wasn't. And the thing that stressed me out the most was the to-do list, the most classic tool that exists in the productivity world. I know how that sounds. Everybody says if you have ADHD, write things down, make a list, stay organized. But every time I look at my to-do list, I want to just literally jump out this window that is behind me. My brain just literally jumps out. It's not there. I just shut down. But actually, there is neuroscience to back this up. A 2026 study on task initiation and ADHD found that our brains aren't struggling because of laziness or poor character. We're running on what researchers call an interest-based nervous system. Without dopamine activation, the tasks don't register as real. We live in our Delulu land. Those tasks, they're not here. They're in there. It's just noise. No, it's just background music. We don't listen to it. It's just there. So when you have a to-do list, it would just sit there staring at me, making me feel guilty every time I see an item that I haven't touched. And guilt made it harder to start, to be honest, which ended up with the list growing, which made the guilt worse. It's a beautiful, vicious cycle, really. But here's where it gets complicated. I'm a pre-med at UC Berkeley, MCB, economics, and psychology. There are weeks where I genuinely cannot hold everything in my head. Lab classes, orgo problem sets, econ midterms, research deadlines. My brain, as I like to say, is a browser with 100 tabs open and no clear homepage. And in those moments, I need to externalize. I need a list. But the problem was, it was not the concept of the to-do list. It was how we're taught to build them. So in this video, the prescription is 3 adjustments I made in my small to-do list journal, which this is my external brain that I take everywhere, that made me turn my to-do list from a source of paralysis into something I can actually use. So 3 changes. Let's go. The first problem with the traditional to-do list is that the tasks are too abstract. You write email the professor about research topic. Okay, but when you look at it, you're like, what email? What do I need to say? Is this actually urgent, or should I just talk to her after class? Every missing piece of information adds just another layer that we need to overcome, which researchers call cognitive friction. And for ADHD, brains already run on low dopamine activation, so there's not that much velocity, which means that friction is gonna stop the velocity more quicker. See, physics teach you something. So as I said, even like a small friction just makes it feel impossible to start. So the first change I made was giving a context column. In my leather journal, which I use as my external brain, it literally lives in my bag. I have 2 pages. The left side, I have the to-do list, my simpler ideas of like email professor. On the right side, everything that my brain actually needs to do. What do I need to do? So instead of just writing email professor, on the right, I add her email address, what specifically I need to ask, what and the due date that I give myself, or like when I need to do it. Like, is it urgent that I need to finish it by tomorrow, or can I wait till next week? Another example, instead of being like study for that MCB midterm, I add which lectures, which chapters, how many practice exams do I have, and how many, and what the exam format is. Is it multiple choice? Is it pre-response? And now the important part, I'm not like doing this for every single task. I'm only doing it for the one that feels heavy. And you know those tasks are gonna sit on the top of your list for like 3 days. Like, that's how you know they're heavy, because if you don't do them, you know it's gonna stay there for like 3 days. And you cannot figure why you haven't touched them yet. Usually it's the task that is very unclear, not the one that is the hardest. When I add the context, the task becomes an instruction. You know, it's just already planned, it's already made, so it stops being a vague anxiety source. You're offloading your brain onto the page. The leather journal is not a planner, it's a thinking system. The second issue is that the classic ADHD advice tells you to break every task into tiny steps in advance. I tried this. I would sit down, try to make 15 steps for my research papers, introduction, outline, thesis draft, find a source, annotate source, write 1 paragraph. And I would look at the 13 things to do in my list and I'd be like, what the? No, I'm out. My brain just checks out. No motivation, no organization, just silence. And that's why it works like that. And that's why this doesn't work. Our brains don't activate on future step. It activates on immediacy, which means urgency. And that's the core 4 of the income model: interest, novelty, challenge, urgency, and passion. We need now for it to feel real. So instead of pre-planning the whole staircase, I only ever think about the next step. Like, what am I supposed to do right now? Today, I write the main task on the left, let's say research paper draft or finish your honors thesis, I don't know. And on the right, I write one question to myself: what is the smallest version of starting that I could do right now in 3 minutes? Not the full outline, just not like a perfect list or a perfect paragraph, just one line. What is it? For example, open a document or write one sentence, or even just find the tab that all of these shit is saved at. This is what I call the do it badly rule. Comes up again, means it's important. Think about it, class, before I test y'all. Be like, what is the most important rule? Y'all need to know the answer. You do not need to start your goal by doing it perfectly or doing it well. You start with the goal, period. That's all it is. You need to just start, period. Then I go to do that one micro step. I come back, I cross it off. And here's why it matters. Harvard medical research suggests ADHD brains require 2 to 3 times more dopamine stimulation than the neurotypical brains. Every completion, even a tiny one, gives you a micro reward. And micro rewards are how you keep moving. You use that 1 milligram to push to the next small step. You do it again, you cross it off. Do it again, you cross it off. You're never looking at like the full task. You're only ever looking at right now. What am I supposed to do right now? That's the only way that I found to be the task paralysis that you get without just going through it. The third issue is the one most specific to academic and high stakes work. Some tasks don't have a natural endpoint. Study for orgo exam. That could take 1 hour. It could take 5. It could take 3 days. There is no moment where you're like, oh, this is done. And for an ADHD brain, tasks with no clear finish line are brutal because your nervous system needs completion to be able to release that reward signal. But there is no completion. If you can never cross it off, you never feel like you won. So this is why I use time containers. Instead of writing study for orgo, you say, I'm gonna study orgo for 60 minutes, chapter 5. Now you can actually complete it. There is a finish line. On the right side, I track it visually. I draw 4 small boxes. Each one is 15 minutes, for example. Every time a block is done, I cross that block off. And with 4 blocks closed, I crossed out the whole entire task. Watching those boxes fill is genuinely very, very satisfying. It's not a trick. It's your brain getting the visual progress signal that it needs. And on harder days, and I want to acknowledge this because some days everything feels impossible, even just getting out of bed, you make the smaller containers. Instead of 15-minute block, do a 10-minute block or 6 minutes or 5 minutes, however small you need the task to be. That's how granular I get. The harder the task feels, the smaller the container. I also follow my 3 no 4 rule here. As I always say, I never stack more than 3 time containers tasks in one day because the goal isn't to fill the page. The goal is to finish what's actually on it. This is how you make academic work feel achievable with an ADHD brain, not by adding more discipline, but by building more completion moments into the system itself. So here's the prescription. The diagnosis: traditional to-do list, neurotypical tool built for a neurotypical brain. They assume you can activate your brain on demand, plan in advance, tolerate ambiguity. ADHD brains do not do that. And that's not a character flaw. It's literally just your biology. So what the prescription is: left column, task; right column, text your brain need; time containers, completion moments built into the work itself. The stress doesn't disappear. I want to really tell you this. It just becomes something you can work with better. I do not use this every single day. Sometimes the leather journal is open and I'm flowing and nothing needs to be structured. But on other days when my brain is overloaded, when there are too many tabs open, this system comes back, and that is okay. Try these 3 adjustments and tell me what happens. Take what fits, leave what doesn't. This is very important. You do not need to listen to every productivity advice. Only take what you need and leave everything else. And if you're one of my sawalif girls or guys, drop a moon so I know that you're here. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like, subscribe, and share, and watch my last video, which is about the fig tree dilemma. And again, thank you for watching my video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did, and open the notification buttons. And see you next time. Bye bye.